In this video, I'll show you how to send profiles data and messaging history from Linked Helper to Pipedrive CRM. If you open a contacts card, you can find Linked Helper fields to store information received from Linked Helper. Messages from LinkedIn chats are stored as activities. You can also add columns that will display Linked Helper fields so that you have this data in the form of a table. Let's create a campaign for sending profiles along with messages to Pipedrive. Select Empty Campaign, name your campaign, and click Create Campaign button. Under Export and Integration tab on the right side, select Send Person to External CRM and choose Pipedrive CRM. Now we need to get the access token. Navigate to Pipedrive. In the upper right corner, click on your account and select Personal Preferences. Go to API tab and copy your personal API token. Paste this token into Linked Helper. With the newest Linked Helper version, it's possible to connect Pipedrive even easier. Click Connect button and you'll be redirected to the browser page. Here, you need to log into your Pipedrive account and allow access to it. Click Open Linked Helper application. And that's it. We have connected both apps. Here, let's configure the export settings. Firstly, you can decide whether to send messaging history as Pipedrive activities or not. I'd like to send messages to Pipedrive. You can choose what entity you want to associate the activity with. I'm going with both so that I can review messages in the Persons card under Activities changelog and under Activities tab of the organization that this lead works in as well. It is also possible to create a lead and associate it either with a person, organization, or both. Let's create a lead. Now, let's do the field mapping. Here you can choose which data in Linked Helper will match which fields in Pipedrive. Some fields are added by default and include some basic information, but you can also add extra fields. In the left column, Linked Helper field, you need to select the additional information that you want to send in the CRM. In my case, I'm going to select Connections Count. You can start typing the name of the needed field to find it. And for the right column, the matching field in Pipedrive. There are quite a lot of fields in Pipedrive, but if nothing from the suggested matches this Linked Helper data, you can create a new field. Give a name to the field as in the example. Also, I'd like to transfer profile skills. It's possible to select all skills at once. Another type of fields that can be useful is constant value. This way, you can record some specific text, for example, a name of a project, Asia Outreach, and you can send this text to any field in Pipedrive. Another case of using this type of field is to update a contacts label, whether it's a cold, warm, or hot lead. You can also send data that you created as custom variables in Linked Helper. So I'm going to select my custom variable, LinkedIn event, which includes the name of a LinkedIn event that we both attended. And for CRM field, I'm choosing LH event field that I created before in Pipedrive. And the final custom field that I want to set is linked helper campaign name, so that I can see in Pipedrive what campaign I used in linked helper for processing a lead. When you are done with creating fields, you need to mark certain fields as identifiers. These fields will be used to match the profile sent from linked helper with a person in Pipedrive. And if a person with the same identifier already exists, a new one will not be created. By default, email is used as the only identifier to search for a match. But a profile in linked helper may not have a mail at all. And in this case, a duplicate lead will be created. As you can see, this person was duplicated because they lack email, the only identifier. So, to avoid the creation of duplicate leads due to the absence of an email, we recommend adding extra identifiers. You can click on the Create Most Useful Custom Field button and make sure that Member ID and Public ID fields are selected. You can also uncheck some fields Member ID and Public ID will serve as additional identifiers. Fields with Overwrite checkbox will be updated in Pipedrive and will be replaced with new values of a profile from linked helper. Now switch to the Organization tab and click Create Most Useful Custom Fields to avoid duplicates as well. Make sure that Company ID and Public ID fields are selected, and uncheck the fields with unnecessary information for your CRM. And lastly, if you decide to create a lead in Pipedrive, you'll need to do the mapping for it as well. Let's use the ones suggested by a linked helper. If you don't want to send the profiles company, simply delete all mappings in the Organization tab, and vice versa. If you don't want to send profiles, then delete all mappings from the Person tab. Now we need to save the settings. And you can also save these configurations as default. It means that next time you use this action in some other campaign, the settings will be automatically applied as default ones. And now I'm going to add profiles from the built-in CRM. I've previously tagged them, so I'm using the tag as the filter to find these profiles. And all the data for these profiles was scraped by a linked helper in a different campaign. When you view a profile in linked helper, you can send a profile immediately to CRM by means of this button on the left side menu. In the similar way, you can send a profile to Pipedrive when you view profiles in the Linked Helper built-in CRM. In the Settings menu under External CRMs tab, you can also set a default CRM. For better understanding of Pipedrive integration, watch additional videos with use case scenarios and guides.